everybody. Hello. Woo! Oh, to say I'm excited is an understatement. And hello, world. Man, is anybody else just like, wow, like all of it? It's like change is possible. Everything is possible. Holy shit, why did I not know about this from the time I was 2 years old? Oh. Well, at least you know now. So welcome to something about change. The choice for change. And I love the tagline of this. If you want something different, you've got to choose something different. And this, okay, I'm done. That was, there you go. That basically says it all. If you desire something different, you have to choose something different. How much have you been inspired today with the fact that we can fucking change stuff now? Right? Yes. You know, and the beauty of it is like we can have the enthusiasm for it, and it's not just a rah-rah, like, yeah. It's actual, like in your life, waking up, actually enjoying being alive. I came to bars and Access 23 years ago. I literally had set a date to end my life. I came across a little ad for Access Consciousness that said, Access, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. And I was like, I fucking hate you. Well, you know, but I learned long before that if you love something or hate it, there's something there for you. So, arigato. So I ended up having a bar session a couple weeks later. I lay down on the table. Before this session, I cry almost every time because I remember how hopeless my life was, how hopeless I was at that point. And I was a seeker. Any of you seekers? People, the fucking weirdos of the world? You know, all the people that are like, oh yeah, I'll try this. Oh yeah, you want to stick ozone up my butt? Okay, I'm ready. Let's try it. Okay. Oh, that was kind of nice actually. Okay, you know, like you'll fucking try anything because you know something else has to be possible. This is where the rubber meets the road, okay? So I was doing weekend workshops. I was doing all this stuff. I still got to this place where it would feel like I would get happy and then 3 days later, the universe would cave in on my head again. And it was one of those days where I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done. Universe, I've been trying to create happiness for people. I've been trying to create change. I'm not getting any. I'm not getting any happiness. I'm done. Either my life actually changes or I'm out of here. Whew. So I have this bar session 2 weeks after this. I am ready to leave. I'm Audi 5000 as far as I'm concerned. And there's a certain freedom in that when you go, you know what? I'm done. Unless something fundamentally friggin' changes, I'm out of here. Now, I'm hoping, sorry to depress all of you around the world. Did you feel the whole world go, ooh? Geez, I was so happy after watching Miss Mount Everest. Hello? By the way, Andy, if you're watching, you fucking rock, girl. And I mean, so many people today, us, people like you. You know, the thing is, they're just making different choices. They're just choosing in a different way. And it's funny because it's like this idea of, I was talking to somebody the other day and they were like, yeah, well, I did this and I did this and I did this because I didn't know that I couldn't. I like that point of view, okay? So here I am, I'm going to have my first bar session. I'm depressed and suicidal, ready to get the flock out of here. I have somebody put their hands on my head. Shannon O'Hare, she puts her hands on my head. And I had this sense of peace. I hadn't had peace in almost 3 years. And I was like, whoa. And then after a few minutes, it started turning into this joyful little giggle. I was like, And I don't know if you know anything about me, but one thing is I like to laugh, okay? I really like to laugh. I like to be joyful. I like to try to make other people laugh. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. I have a very strange sense of humor. And here I was giggling. I got up an hour and 15 minutes later, and I had a sense of space that I desired my entire life, that I did not remember. I don't remember ever having a space like that. But I knew, I was like, this. If my life can feel like this, I'm in. Well, what started happening was I would get a tool. I would get bars once a week. I couldn't afford bars, so I was trading chiropractic sessions for Shannon, who was running my bars, and she would give me a tool once a week. So what would happen is that first bar session took me from to, you guys saw Terry? Did you see Terry, the wonderful Terry research lady of, wow. Because we never bothered researching it, we just know it works. And we realized some other people might want to have numbers put to that. Okay, cool. And proving it, man, you are amazing, lady. Thank you so much. What a friggin' gift. So what would happen is my space went, poop. And I was like, oh, wow. I remember looking outside and I was like, wow, has it always been this beautiful here? If it feels this way to be alive, I'm in. Let's go, okay? And what would happen, so my space expanded, and then when the universe wanted to cave in on my head, I got a tool to use. I got one tool a week, is how it worked. We were on the rationing program back in the time. Given that we only had about 6 tools, that was an appropriate thing to do. You know, now we have thousands, okay? So I'm like, I'll give you tool 1 out of 6. Okay, all right. And what would happen is I would use the tool, and the first tool I got was, who does this belong to? And the universe would cave in on my head, I get depressed, I get unhappy, and I go, who does that belong to? And my space would go, whoop, like a little cartoon character, like, whoop, 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 whoop. And then I'd get my bars run again, and the space would go, whoop. And I was like, oh. And then when it wanted to, whoop, I would use the tool, and it'd go, whoop. So I'd go, whoop, 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 whoop. And then next week, I'd go, whoop. So I was like, whoop, 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 you know? And now I'm as big as the, no. I've had so many bar sessions, I'm as big as the universe right now, okay. In my mind. So, in that, the thing for me is, I don't know about you, I have a sense probably for a lot of you, being the seekers that you are, you've probably done a lot of stuff, okay? A lot of great stuff in the world. Some of it sucks, but there's a lot of great stuff in the world, okay? But to have the change actualized, to have it actually change in my world was the greatest gift I can imagine. I couldn't even imagine, actually. And I just saw the word imagine back there. Imagine what you would choose if you knew you couldn't fail. I'm like, I fucking love that. That's great. But it was this thing where it actually was changing. Things were actually changing. It wasn't just like, oh, I feel better about it, but it still sucks. It was actually changing, and that is the difference, okay? If you're gonna have a different outcome, if you're gonna have a different result, make a different choice. Now, there's some wonderful stuff we have in Access called question. It's not just in Access, by the way. You can question even if you've never heard of Access. Just most people don't, okay? Because why? We live lives and it's like, oh, this is my life. This is what's possible. This is what's not possible. The way to change all of that is to ask a question. Great question. What else is possible? I've never considered. And what's funny is I say it and you're like, well, that's pretty friggin' simple. Why didn't I think of that before? I know! All of it, most of Access is so fucking simple. You're like, why didn't nobody tell me? I know! I'm with you. I have the same point of view. I'm like, this shit, all of it, should have been in the manual I was not given when I was born. You know that one? That one, yeah. I mean, it should be in schools. Like we have, as you've seen, bars in schools. Oh my God. Kids, 20 minutes a week get bars, and they're like, oh yeah, we like each other. Yeah, we're totally different. We have much more peace in our class than any other class. Oh yeah, the entire school is like, yeah, I don't know, everybody's happy now. I'm not sure what happened. And then when they're not happy, we run their bars and then they get happy. It's like, dude, but that's kids. That's the beauty of kids. They don't know what they're not capable of. Please don't teach them, okay? Thank you. Like Leia, and see, because, sorry, ADHD, I have a bit of that. Just a tiny sliver of ADHD. Woven with a tiny sliver of OCD and autistic tendencies. That's all, no big deal. How many of you are like ADD, ADHD, OCD, and autistic? My people, right? And how much have you been made wrong your entire life for not being able to follow a straight line on anything? You're like, hi, how are you? Let's talk about numbers. Just kidding, what'd you have this morning for breakfast? Really? Oh my God. Do you like dolphins too? Me too. Oh, have you seen peacocks? Oh my God. They're like land dolphins. I don't know. It's great, you know. You're just like, what if that's not wrong? What if you being that space? What if you exploring your life and choosing from that stuff is what makes your life actually work? So let's do this. Everything you've done to make you wrong, Oh, that was like me talking about killing myself. It makes the world happy. Everything you've done to make you wrong, everything you've done to buy that somehow you must be wrong because you have this sense of it. What if that sense, you know that thing that we walk around with that seems like it's, and if we get out of the wrongness for a little while, it seems like it always comes back? What if that sense is something that is not you, that you bought as you, but it is not true for you, as you? Lordy, I'm sweating. There. I'm ready, let's do it. Everything that is, all the lies you bought, everything you've been using to make you wrong as though that is an appropriate way to look at the world. Will you destroy it and create it, please? Yes. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shirts, boys, po-beds, and beyonds. And if you haven't been exposed to that yet, it's something called the clearing statement. I don't know what part of today you watched, you know what I mean? We try to hide the clearing statement. You know, like keep it back because we don't want to look weird. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I can put my hands on your head and change your whole life, probably. But we have this clearing statement. Don't talk about the clearing statement. You might sound weird. Yeah. You know, have you ever noticed how weird it is when you walk through the world happy? You want to freak people the fuck out? Walk through the world happy. Walk through the world with a smile on your face. Or talk to somebody who loves their drama and be like, oh, I don't have that problem. Everything that is, everything you've done to learn to fit in with people's drama and their unhappiness and their sadness and their whatever, and will you destroy and create all that, please? Times a gazillion, right, wrong, about all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, pub-heads, and beyonds. So, if you want something different, choose something different. First place, what else is possible I've never considered? If I were creating, here's another question. If I were creating my life today, what would I choose right away? Okay, if I were truly creating my life today, what would I choose right away? Okay, also, I'm gonna give you a few tools. If you haven't noticed, I've done that already. Okay, just a couple, just a few. Like bars, who does this belong to? Question, what else is possible? If I were truly creating my life today, what would I choose right away? Pock and pod, okay. Another tool, don't be stupid. You're welcome. Just put that in your pipe and smoker, okay? All right? Not my fault. I did not make the baby cry. Okay, thank you. All right. Next tool. Oh, wait, check this out. See, I do that just to fuck with the tech people, the people behind the camera, because they're probably assuming that if I'm up on Global Bars Day doing a class, I will not probably run through the room. You know what I mean? Hey? But how friggin' amazing were they? This is what happens, baby. You get to be on your toes. You're like, oh, dude, I got him. He's running, but I got him. He's running, but I got him. Yeah, This is with no coffee. I think I don't drink coffee because I think it might slow me down. I'm not sure, okay? So, sorry. Let me get back to being appropriate. Thank you. One person said no. What about the rest of you? Fuck no! Appropriate? Oh my God. How many people do you know that are appropriate and happy? That many. Which, by the way, is the size your anus is when you pull your head out of it. You know when you... Sorry for those of you who brought your children. Everything that is. Oh, do any of you entertain yourselves? Me too. I'm like, oh yeah, I got a world full of people I'm talking to, but it's all going on in here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being here while this does its thing. So, next, speaking of change. So, Guru goes to the hot dog vendor in New York, and he goes to the hot dog vendor and says, "Oh, beneficent hot dog vendor, make me one with everything." So anyway, the hot dog vendor is like, okay, cool. And he says, like, that'll be $7.50. And so the guru digs around in his rainbow-colored tunic, smelling of patchouli, and hands the hot dog vendor a 20. And he gets his hot dog with everything, and he's sitting there waiting, and he's like, dude, where's my change? And the hot dog vendor goes, Guru, you should know, change comes from within. I have to throw in a dad joke every now and again. You're welcome. Okay, sorry. Everything that doesn't allow you to laugh at everything I say. Right, wrong, good, bad, fun, buckle, nine, church, boys, po, bad, and beyond. Okay, so one of the number one things that you can do, the number one thing that, one of the, and it really is to access the lightness of you as often as you possibly can, okay? So what I'd like you to do is write down a list of resources, another tool for you, write down a list of resources. When I do these things, I get happy. When I do these things, I like myself more. When I do these things, I get more space. When I do these, okay? And these are actually things you do, okay? Bars, great example. And that's one of billions, okay? Some of you like to move your body. Some of you like to get massages. Some of you like to go out in nature. Some of you like to dance, sing, yell at people. I don't know, whatever it is, you know. I don't know how you're wired, okay? You know what I mean? Good, it makes me so happy when I yell at people. Okay, cool, try that. See how that works. I don't know, you know. Maybe you got a thing. Maybe it makes them happy to be yelled at. Who knows? In a world of infinite possibilities, what is possible we have never considered, okay? So, list a resource of things that when you do them make you happy, make you lighter. Because, if you haven't heard this yet, what's true for you always makes you lighter. A lie for you always makes you heavier. What's true for you always makes you lighter. A lie for you always makes you heavier. To the extent that you can do everything that makes you lighter, you get lighter and lighter and lighter. So when I got bars the first time, I went from very contracted, very heavy to space. I was like, yeah, all right. And I realized in that moment, this creates that effect. I'm going to do more of this. I know, it sounds like rocket science, doesn't it? You're like, oh, if this does this, then I will do more of this. Hello? And here's the funny part is we'll do something that makes us lighter, do something that makes us happier and be like, oh, I probably should stop doing that. I'm getting, I don't know, I'm a little undefined, getting a little too light here, okay? So everything you've done to avoid what makes you light, so you can feel more like other people want you to. Hairball. Will you destroy and create all that, please? Times a gazillion, right? Wrong, about all nine, bud, puck, shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. So everything you've done to avoid being the lightness of you, so you can be the way other people want you to be. So you can feel as heavy and contracted, as traumatic and dramatic, so they don't judge you. Has that ever fucking worked? Has it ever one time worked where you turn yourself down and they judge you less? No, they just judge you for something else now. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and create it all, please. Right, everyone, good, bad, pop, pocket, iron, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyond. So another tool, in addition to do more of what makes you lighter. Oh, by the way, if you start getting heavy, like you read an article or you're watching TV, watching a show or something, or watching some video online, you start getting heavier and heavier and heavier, change the fucking channel. Change the channel. Because what do? It gets heavier and heavier. You're like, oh, I'm going to get in there and eventually something good will happen. Change the channel. Okay? That's one of the ways, you know, we talk about self-care in the world, you know, self-care is very, okay, whatever. Anyway, take care of you, okay? Be kind to you. That's one way to be kind to you. That's one way to create more lightness in your world is when something is getting really heavy, move, turn your attention on something else. Choose something different. And then you want to also have this. Actually, let's see. Okay, what 3 things in your life, if you change them right now, what 3 things did you have to change to have a life you friggin' love? Okay? What 3 things? Now, I'm only going with 3 because you're like, what about the 827 other things, Dr. Day? What about those? Well, if you start with 3, what you're going to do is you're going to look at it, and what I'd like you to do is, so many ways of going about this. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get the sense of whatever that is for you right now. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to depress you all. Shit. Okay, don't do what I said. Just do something that makes you light. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go here for a moment, okay? So first of all, everything you've been avoiding about this area. Okay, so I want to, sorry, there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm trying to put into words that's not working as well as words should work. So, because what I'd like you to do is if we look at, let's just take one area. One area, if this changed, I would be so much happier. I'd be so much lighter, okay? We'll just do one. And then you can apply this to the other 829 things that are currently on your list of what must change to be happy. So what I'd like you to do is look at what about this area, what are you avoiding? Okay? Because in order for anything to stay stuck, we're avoiding something. What am I avoiding? And this is part of the verbal processing we have in Access, which takes bars and takes that to a whole other level. Because we can change specific things. Bars is so friggin' amazing because it changes all kinds of stuff you can't get to with this little bugger. Okay, so cool. And you, the being, is like, oh, I need to change this. And your mind is like, no, we need to change this. Well, your being always wins out in bars. That's the beauty of it, okay? Your being is like, okay, I know where we can go. Let's go. And it's very seldom what you think. It just gives you the space of your being. So, why did I get there? How did I get there? What happened? Hold on, let me press rewind on my brain. Okay, so in order for any area to stay stuck, we've been avoiding looking at it. And this is what is a big part of what allows it to stay stuck. Now, there's a certain space that I've noticed is available to us. And I notice this when people have access to Access tools especially. And whatever tools you have, awesome, okay? Whatever tools you have, awesome. Use the fuckers, okay? If they make you lighter, do it, period. If it makes you lighter, it cannot be wrong or bad, okay? Make sense? Okay, so whatever tools you have. But what I've noticed is there's a space in which, rather than feeling like you have to avoid this, like, oh, I've got this issue with, I don't know, family relationships, let's say. Every time I think about it, I go, Well, don't say family. Sorry. Everything that brought up, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pocket, all night, church boys. I had a family hairball. Right, wrong, good, bad, pocket, pot, all night, church boys, both. Every on. That's worse than a normal hairball, okay? Because a family hairball is like generational, okay? You see what I'm saying? Right, yeah, you're welcome. Now, see, anything that brings up a lot of charge for you, we have a way of changing that. And so there's a space when you have access to these tools where rather than it comes up, you know, the thing, whatever it is, the one thing that if you changed it, you would be so much happier. It comes up, what we tend to do is it comes up like, PTSD, Oh, by the way, you know what? I heard about this thing that is really good at getting rid of PTSD. What was that? Terry, what was that thing you were talking about earlier? Oh, bars. I remember bars. Oh my God, how does it get any better than bars? Okay, you're welcome. But there's a way in which, instead of avoiding it, you can actually be present with it. Okay, so let's do this for a moment. That one area, just get a sense of the avoidance, which I'm sorry to do to you, because if you don't notice what happens, even if I need more mouths, sorry. You need more ears. I just cannot talk fast enough to get all the information out. It's like all the words. Do you ever have this where you're like talking and they all kind of like jumble up back here and you're like, fuck, shit. I'm going to try to say them all at the same time. You're welcome. Go change. Bye-bye. See you later. Thank you for coming. Okay. So if you can be present with it and not have to avoid it, there's a different space available because now you can see what's actually true and you can undo what's not true. And remember, what's true makes you lighter, a lie makes you heavier. So let's do this. So if you get that area, and just go and get that sense of avoiding it. And you'll notice when I do this with the room and around the world, people get less present. Like when I just talk about you avoiding it, what do? You're like, ugh. Well, that's the energy. What if you didn't have to be that with anything ever again? Okay? Dude. Now, it may take us a while, okay? That's fine. I don't care how long it takes us. But what if you didn't have to be that energy with anything ever again? Because when you're avoiding something, how can you change it? You can't. It's like trying to get a massage and the person is on the other side of the world. It's like, how are they going to give you a massage? They can't. They can't touch you. Okay? Let me do a couple of things. Quick. I've got 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Let's be honest, like I really give a shit about how long. Yeah, what I mean is I have 2.5 more days with you right now. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So let's do this. So that avoiding thing, we have a way, one of the ways of using the verbal processing is by asking questions. What are you avoiding? Okay? Now, it's interesting that I went there. But I did, my fault. So get that energy and everything that makes you believe that's your only choice. Okay? And by the way, that thing of avoiding the energy of this, which makes you do this, which is that even yours, or did you learn that from somebody else? How much have you learned to avoid from mommy, from daddy, from family, from everybody you grew up around, from people in your life right now? To avoid this area. Everything that is, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, bod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So we've learned in any area of our life that we are having an issue, a problem, we're avoiding something. And also, we have all kinds of points of view that we bought about the nature of this thing that isn't actually true, because if it were true, we'd have lightness. Okay, so, who has an area? Money? Oh, fuck. Dude, I have 66 seconds, okay, so. And go. Okay, so look at that for a moment. Money, whatever your current thing is with money. Now, how many of you would like more money? Yeah, all of us. Fuck yeah. Why shouldn't you? Okay, let's do this. All the lies you bought about money, and everywhere you avoid looking at money because it's like you won't look at it unless you can solve it, and you already know that you can't solve it, which creates, in your point of view, creates your reality. So your point of view is that you can't solve it and you can't change it. Therefore, don't look at it because you can't solve it and can't change it, which is why you can't change it, because you won't look at it, because you've decided if you look at it, you still can't change it. So you won't look at it, which means you can't change it. Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and create it all, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, bod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Do you have, okay, in talking about this, do you notice any bit less solidity? Even just a little bit. See, what I'm interested in is letting you know that change is actually possible. How? By choosing something different. In this case, okay, we've talked about all kinds of tools and questions that you can ask on a daily basis. Please ask them on a daily basis. Heading more toward lightness. But then the other thing is getting the area and going, okay, what am I avoiding here? Pock and pod that shit. Who did I buy that I had to be this way with this area? If you look at that area of your life that's just like, yeah, right now, who did you buy that shit from? Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, bod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. What if you no longer had to validate their reality? Whoa, okay? What if you no longer had to validate their reality? What if you no longer had to heal their reality? How many of you know that you came here to heal your parents and your family and everybody else? Okay? Everything that is. What if you no longer had to? Everything that creates all that, will you destroy and create all that, please? Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, bod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So the other thing you want to do is, whose reality am I defending here? Okay? Whose reality am I defending? Because here's the weird thing. Our limited points of view, a huge amount of those we bought from other people. We grew up around these people, and the thing is, you're so energetically aware. It's one of the wonderful things. Oh my God, 0 seconds, we're all gonna die. Oh shit, sorry everyone, it's been nice knowing you, bye-bye. You good? Okay. No Armageddon, not yet? Okay. So we've done this of buying this, trying to heal people, and then defending their reality as though if I can make their reality, because it would have been one thing if you had the awareness that you have awareness, okay? Because the thing is, you're so energetically aware. You're so energetically aware that when you grow up as a little kid, before you can even talk, okay? Get the you that was like pre-2 years old, okay? That was just, you're like, I don't remember me. Yeah, I get that, okay? But that was before you were cognitive, okay? Everything was energetic for you. Now, everything that brought up, and everywhere you have, and the reason for bringing this up is so that you can recognize that a lot of the energetic structures of the things that limit us are not ours. And that's not about, it's not about anything except being able to change it, because if it's not yours, you can't change it. If you think it's yours, you still can make a different choice, but if you undo where you bought this point of view as yours, it gets a lot easier, okay? So let's do this. So everything you bought about, let's say money, probably a good one, okay? From your mother before the age of 2. All the good, bad, right and wrong, what's possible, what's not possible. Holy cow, Batman, that's a good one. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? And return it to sender, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Everything you bought about money before the age of 2 from your father, okay? And his mistresses. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, buck, all 9, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. That had a little more energy than I thought it would. Okay. Because here I am, and all I have to go on is the energy, the energetics of what presents itself. But here's the interesting part is that is us. We're energetic beings. We're energetic creatures, which is why I say, to the extent that you are willing to choose what makes you lighter, that's what you create as your life, okay? So we talked about what are you avoiding. So if we get that area and you go, what am I avoiding? And who did I learn to avoid this way? Like, from whom did I learn to avoid this way? So everything you are doing to avoid the very same things that your parents avoided, rather than recognizing you have a totally different choice. You can actually be so present with it that you don't have to worry about it creating PTSD in your world and you having to separate from it so you can survive. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. We have this tool. Who does this belong to in Access? Okay? And it's based on the idea 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions don't belong to you. We have an app. Guess what it's called? Who does this belong to? And if you ask that question, the app disappears. No, just kidding. We also have a Being You app, Being You Changing the World app, which has, and both of those are free. They're just a bunch of resources. And part of the reason we have so much free content and access is because we'd like to create a happy world. And the idea of this is we actually have tools that work in the trenches of life to start changing this shit, okay? There's not one of us that has to live an unhappy life. We do choose to sometimes, but it's not, very seldom for the reason that you think it is, okay? So let's do this also. All of your reasons and justifications for this thing that we want to change. All of your reasons and justifications for why it exists. Everything you've looked at where you've decided it's this, everything you bought from anybody else where you've decided it's this or this or this, will you destroy and uncreate all that, please? Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds, and run this process. What shebangabangs can I be to have total clarity and ease with changing this? Okay? What shebangabangs? A shebangabang, in case you're curious, is what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities, power, and potency. Okay, what shebangabangs can I be to have total clarity and ease with changing all of this? Everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So, let's see. Okay, so part of where I was going with the avoiding thing, and the reason I was saying three things is because if you didn't have to avoid anymore, what would be possible, number one? But then the other question becomes, what choices do I have here that I haven't acknowledged? What choices do I have that other people may not have? What choice can I make today to change this to something I would like to have right away? Okay? And the thing about this is, so we have, say, thousands of people around the world watching. The thing about this is, it's going to be different for each of us. So we need to ask the question rather than come to the conclusion, okay? And another few questions in addition to what else is possible that I've never considered. Well, what's it going to take to change this with ease? If I were truly creating my life today, what would I choose right away? How does it get any better than this whenever something good happens or whenever something bad happens? What's right about this I'm not getting? And what's right about me I'm not getting? And how much fun can I have? Okay? Everything that doesn't allow that, you're like, ah. Do you notice your brain is like, ah. You're welcome. And everything you've done to avoid the space of not being able to define you, which is actually the space of your being, which is actually the gift of you, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Yes. Times a gazillion, right? Wrong about all nine, pod, pock, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. So, I'm just going to say one more time. What choice can you make today to create the life and living you desire right away? Okay? Whatever that choice is, please do it. You know, and here's the very last thing, probably. We're at 0 minutes. I mean, the clock is already counted down, so, you know, it's all gravy at this point. Okay. I notice all of you at 0 minutes went, with this idea of choice and what choice can I make today to create what I desire right away is the awareness that you know, okay? We've had a lot of people talking about that today. Maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't. I don't know, once again, when you've joined. But we've had a lot of people talking about the awareness that I know. One of the things I got from bars was, in the bars class, I know. You know. So will you please acknowledge right now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, beyond anybody else's shadow of a doubt, you know what it's going to take to change what you would like to change. You know what it's going to take to create what you would like to create. And will you now make a demand of yourself that I'm going to access that in whatever way it takes for me to get it as quickly and as easily as possible? Yes. Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Woo! Thank you all so much. Arigato! And we'll be back in a few minutes with me and Mr. Gary Douglas. Woo! Bye-bye.